Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, me and my team, Nur IZZAH AZLAN and IZZATI, are going to present on chapter 10, which is agricultural and industrial important elements, on the subtopic copper and electrical and thermal conductor. What is copper? Copper is a chemical element with the symbol Cu and atomic number 29. Copper is the oldest metal object found in the Middle East, and the size of copper is tiny. About 3/4 of that copper goes to make electrical wires, telecommunication cables, and electronics. Copper is the only metal on the periodic table whose coloring is naturally silver or grey. Occurrence in nature. About 70 parts per million of copper were estimated in abundance in the Earth's crust. About 1 part per million of copper also found in seawater. Two isotopes of copper that exist naturally are 63 Cu and 65 Cu. There are also 9 radioactive isotopes of copper discovered. Copper has a lot of physical properties such as electrical conductivity, thermal conductivity, corrosion resistant, alloys easily joined, and ductile. Copper also has a chemical property, which is copper dissolves in almost all acids and alkalis, since it is a considerably reactive metal. In moist air, it can react with oxygen from air and carbon dioxide. This reaction and then form hydrated copper carbonate.
Okay, so my name is Nur IZZAH. So I will be presenting about electrical conductivity. Okay, so copper has the highest conductivity of any non-precious metal, and that is one that is 65% higher than aluminium. It makes copper the first choice as a conductor for electrical application. So for example, copper is used in cables, transformer, and motor windings. So many electrical appliances usually use copper as the cable and the wire in the electrical appliance. Okay, so what is a good electrical conductivity actually? So it is the metal is considered as good conductor if it has a small resistance, and so the electric current will flow through all metals, but there will still be some metal, of course. But because the resistance means that the current is needed to be pushed up by a battery to keep it flowing. So the current flow easily through copper thanks to its small resistance without much loss of energy. So this proves why copper is used in many electrical appliances. Okay, so how copper conduct? Okay, how copper conduct? Copper is a metal made up of copper atoms closely packed together. So of course, it is closely packed together. And then there are electrons moving about between the copper atom. So in the copper atom, there are electrons moving because there are space in between of it. And then each copper atom has lost one electron and become a positive ion. And the electron can move freely through the metal because it has lost one electron. So it has more space now. So it can move freely through the metal. And then the copper ions are vibrating inside it, and they vibrate around the same place, whereas the electrons can move through the lattice. So electrons that move freely is known as free electron, and also known as conduction, which is a good conductor of heat and electricity. Okay, next. Okay, so conducting the electricity. So first, we have to connect the wire with the battery and the switch, and of course the copper. And then we close the switch So if we close the switch, that means that the electric is on. It's like it's like terbalik. Dia macam terbalik lah. Lepas tu, electron have negative charge. So it will be attracted to the positive terminal. So that means that the electron will move from the negative terminal of battery to the positive terminal of battery. So it is dia terbalik dengan arus elektrik punya, kan kalau arus elektrik is daripada positif ke negatif, tapi elektron dia daripada negatif ke positif. So copper ions in wire, dekat dalam wire yang kita sambungkan ni, dia akan vibrate. So sometimes ion blocks the path of E, so the electron, so the electron will collide with ion and bounce it off. And it will slow down the electron. And some energy will be transferred to the ion, so it will vibrate faster because the energy is transferred to it. Okay, so the energy is transferred from electron to the ion, so the coppers will get hotter. Kan kalau kita buka electrical appliance, biasanya kita akan rasa benda tu panas kan? Sebab energy is transferred from the electron to the ion. So this explains why metals ada electrical resistance and they get hot when the current flow through them. Next. Okay, so copper is also a good thermal conductivity because it is a good conductor of heat. It is about 30 times better than stainless steel and 1.5 times better than aluminium. So copper, the rapid heat transfer is required, such as heat exchangers in air conditioning unit, vehicle radiators, heat sinks in computers, heat sealing machines and television, and as water-cooled furnace components. Okay, so example, kalau kita try, kita ambil satu copper, lepas tu kita heatkan dekat satu end of copper, bila kita rasa dekat the other end tu, dia dah panas dah. So that means dia memang good conductor of heat lah, sebab dia memang alirkan haba tu dengan cepat lah. And dia akan reach the same temperature quickly lah, sebab bila kita rasa satu panas, lepas tu tiba sebelah sana dah panas juga. So out of all metal, memang Cu is the best, sebab aluminium pun dia tak setanding copper. Okay, so sebab tu dia digunakan macam dekat radiator ni kan, dia kena cepat panas and dia kan cepat panas kan. So dia akan serap haba dengan cepat lah, sebab mana boleh lambat-lambat. Okay, that's all from me.
IZZATI. So today I want to present about copper is good conductor of heat. Copper is made up from lattice of ions with free electron. The ions are vibrating and the electron can move through the copper. So this image show that what happens when one end of the piece of copper gets hotter. The copper ions at the hot end vibrate more. So first the free electron collide with an ion at the hot end and gains kinetic energy. Next it moves to the cold end. Next it collide with a cold ion, make the previously cold ion vibrate more. This heat up the cold end. The last is in this way energy is transferred through copper from hot to the cold. And next, corrosion resistance. Next, okay. Copper is low in reactivity series. This means that it doesn't tend to corrode. This is important for its uses for pipe, electrical cable, saucepan, and radiators. It also means that it is well suited to the decorative use, such as jewelry, statue, and part of building. Okay, next is alloy. Copper can alloy easily. Copper can be combined easily with the other metal to make alloy. The first alloy produced was copper melted with tin to form bronze. A discovery so important that period in history are called the Bronze Age. So the alloy also are harder, stronger and tougher than pure copper. Next. Next. Okay. Copper also easily joined. It can be readily joined by brazing, soldering, bolting, and adhesive. It is useful for plumbing, pipework, and joining bus bars, which are vital element of power distribution system. Next is it also important feature for artists crafting the sculptures and statue and for jewelry makers and other artisans. Next, copper also ductile, which is it can easily shape into pipes and drawn into wires. Copper pipes are lightweight because they can have thin walls. It also don't corrode and they can be bent to fit around the corners. Next, the pipes can be joined by soldering and they are safe in fires because they don't burn or support combustion. Next. So, extracting copper from its ores. So, this method is used to extract copper from its ores or depends on the nature of the ore. So, sulfide ores such as chalcopyrite are converted to copper by a different method from silicate, carbonate, and sulfate ore. The ores typically contain low percentage of copper and have to be concentrated before refining. Next. So the process is the concentrated ore is heated strongly with silicon dioxide and air or oxygen in a furnace or series of furnace. So the next the copper to ion in the chalcopyrite are reduced to copper sulfide, which is reduced further to copper metal in the final stage. Next, the ion in the chalcopyrite end up converted into ion to silicate, which is removed. Most of the sulfur in the chalcopyrite turns into sulfur dioxide gas. This is used to make sulfuric acid via the contact process. So this is the overall equation, and then the sulfur and then the copper sulfide produced is converted to copper with a final blast of air. The end product of this is called the blister copper. Yeah. Next, the uses of copper is it is good conductor of it is used for electric conductor because it is a good conductor of heat and malleable. Good conductor of electrical and malleable. Next is used for plumbing and pipe because it easily to bend. Next, for boilers and heat exchangers because it good conductor of heat and does not react with water. It also can be used to make brass, bronze, and coin. It's all from us. Thank you.